Good afternoon, YouTube viewers and subscribers. I have an engine I just received in the mail today. It's a 4-stroke engine, and I was really kind of excited about getting it because I'd never seen one before, and that's really the reason why I got it, was I'd never seen one of these before. It is a Thunder Tiger F-75 4-stroke engine. Somewhat rare in my opinion, just because I've never really seen these before, and that's kind of why I took a chance on this. Now, I say I took a chance, and I did take a chance. I think I took a bad chance now. This engine wasn't packaged very well in my opinion, and I'll put some pictures of how it was packaged. Luckily, at least, the needle valve wasn't installed. The ad for this engine said, like new. A like new Thunder Tiger 75 engine. Well, it barely turns over. I mean, it's really gummed up. And inspection inside the exhaust valve looks to me like a pretty heavily run excuse me, pretty heavily run engine anyway, at least from looking inside the exhaust valve. So I'm going to have to take a look inside. I really wanted this to be a box to the bench review, but I can't even get this. Okay, there we go. That goes back on all the way that way. It turns over so stiff that I don't even know that I would trust trying to start this engine right now in the current condition. Maybe it is like new, I don't know, but it certainly doesn't look or feel like new to me. That's why we're going to open this thing up and see what we can find out. Let's start as we normally do with our rocker arm cover. Okay, so this one does incorporate a gasket, which is interesting. Don't see that too often, really. Let's see here, the inside of this rocker arm looks fairly normal, I guess. I mean, the engine has good compression, it's just really stiff, and maybe just some oil on those bearings is all that's going to be required to loosen this thing up a little bit. But I'm going to at least take the head off and the back plate off. Back plate for sure. Take a look inside. I may not tear down anything more than that. See if we have a gasket on that intake manifold. It kind of looks like I see one. So there is a gasket on the intake manifold. I don't think I'm going to take it off. It doesn't feel like it's too willing to come off right now. Let's take a look at this back plate. Okay. Gasket on the back plate also. Here's the inside. Drive washer keeps coming off. It's kind of gummed up, so it's definitely used. I think I am going to go ahead and see if I can take this head off. Looking in the back is one thing at the bearings, but the true determination of approximately how much fuel has been run through this engine will come by looking at the exhaust, or the valves, the bottom of the valves. The valves look, or the push rods look symmetrical. No issues there. Let's see if I can loosen these up without heat. Okay, so maybe I'm incorrect. Maybe it's just a gummed up engine. how short those little guys are. Doesn't have a whole lot of buildup on the top of the piston. Let's do the reveal on the valves and see what the story is there. Okay, so it's got runtime. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence as to whether or not I would call this like new in the description. I certainly wouldn't describe this engine as like new. But that's just me. I mean, like new, it'd be one run maybe and no discoloration. But it definitely doesn't have a whole lot of runtime. It's got some really large valves, so I don't know. It's just a little stiff. It needs some heat and some oil, and I don't think I'm going to disassemble it anymore. I may just throw some alcohol in here and swish it around a little bit and then throw some oil in there and run this engine. So that's a quick look inside this Thunder Tiger F-75 4-stroke engine. I know at the end of my last segment I made it sound like I was concluding the look inside, but this engine had a couple of surprises for me that I thought I needed to share, that I thought was interesting, and one of them being that I was able to take the sleeve out, and I have since soaked all of these parts and cleaned all these parts in LA's Totally Awesome Cleaner and my ultrasonic cleaner. I was not able to get the connecting rod at the wrist pin to move fore and aft at all, and as you can see, this does not have the hole on it to extract the wrist pin like the OS variants, OS engines and the ASP Magnum variants do. So that to me implies that this should come off, the connecting rod should come off the crankshaft without any further assistance. But the kicker is I was not able to get the connecting rod at the piston wrist pin to move fore and aft, and I've heated it up several times, oiled it, soaked it in LA's Totally Awesome Cleaner. It still isn't willing to move. So I figured, since this seems to be a very low runtime engine, and it seems to have, well, it does have sealed bearings, I'm probably going to just go ahead and leave this as it is for now and run it and see, because I really don't think, A, that the bearings need to be replaced, and B, there's no need in me taking this down any further. Now, so I would say that's an interesting thing. So here is the head that I did clean up considerably. It looks a lot different than it did when I first took the head off. So this is all cleaned up. I am pretty convinced that this is a low runtime engine. It's just not like new, I wouldn't say, like it was described, but it is a low runtime engine. I did not drop the valves. I didn't feel that necessary. But one of the things I thought was really most interesting about this Thunder Tiger engine was that even though it is made in the same type of mean way the Surpass engines are made, it doesn't use a ball bearing on the camshaft. It uses just a brass or copper bushing, which I thought was, really interesting. So that was one of the things I kind of wanted to show, was that this doesn't actually have bearings on the camshaft at all, and that it has completely sealed bearings, rubber sealed bearings on the rear, and a metal sealed bearing on the front. And I'm probably fairly confident that they left that shield on the rear portion of this also. So anyway, that was kind of some of the things I wanted to show you again here with this engine. And now I'll just continue reassembly, and then the next video of this engine will be of it running. So thank you for watching. Okay, so here's the cleaned up engine reassembled. I did not pull the bearings, but I did soak all of the parts in LA's Totally Awesome Cleaner and my ultrasonic cleaner. So it never looked bad to begin with, but there were some things that were kind of dirty on it. I've set the valves It has very snappy compression. I've got a master air screw 13/6 prop on this engine right now, and next step for this will be to run it on the stand.